Okay, so good morning, everyone. We are doing our monthly workshop Wednesday. It is the 3rd of July, so that means we are working with the astrology sign of Cancer. So if you're not a Cancer or you're not sure if you've got Cancer somewhere in your chart, that is okay. Good morning. um, you can still heal these different aspects of Cancer in your chart because we all have different behaviors that relate to different things. So let's start with talking a little bit about what the Cancer sign means. So Cancer is represented by the crab. So you know the crab has the hard outside shell, but then they have their soft part on the inside. So they wear their skeleton on the outside. So that's like that real hard protective shell. So cancers can be a little bit like that. They're very protective of themselves. You might not be able to crack their shell, so to speak, but once you do, they're very soft, very nurturing. They're actually the nurturing sign of the astrology chart. So if you think about the crab also, they have those nippers. So if cancers aren't happy, they snap and their words can be very biting, just like those claws, and it hurts. Now, that is the Cancer in the unaware state. So they can say some very biting comments. If they feel threatened, they'll be the one who might say something that offends a lot of people. And they don't really care if they hurt other people. And they might not be conscious of that fact. It's just their reaction, it's just their way of being. Some of them can do it quite consciously. So they build up that feeling and then they deliver it with quite a bite. And you might have done that yourself, or you've been on the receiving end of it, and it can be quite painful, actually. So they're not aware of other people's feelings. So if you do have a Cancer in your life, just remember that they're at a balance if they're exhibiting those sort of behaviors. Now, in balance, so nurturing, you'll feel very loved and very protected because you're in that inner sanctum of the soft part of the Cancer, and they will protect you with that shell. So if you're in their inner world, you will feel very, very nurtured. And if you have an imbalance Cancer parent, you will feel like you've always got someone who's going to back you up, someone who's always going to stand by your side. And they may actually go in and out of both of these kind of ways of being as well, especially when they're coming into awareness. So sometimes you might feel like you're really nurtured by them, or you're being pushed away a little bit. So it can be a little bit confusing if you do have a Cancer parent like that too. That it's like, I don't need anyone. I don't need you. And you feel like you might be on the outer, and then other times you feel really embraced. So there can be a couple of differences there. They are highly sensitive people and do take offense very, very easily. So it is almost like walking on eggshells around the Cancer. They can also be the holder of family memories. So they might be the caretaker of photo albums or documents or stories and things like that as well. So that's another part of that nurture aspect when it comes to family. Now, I'm going to ask you some questions. So we're going to go through these. You write down your answers. This is completely private for you, so you don't need to actually share this with anybody. This is all for you. So we'll go through the questions and then we'll do the clearing as well. So if this is a time where you could get a glass of water if you need it, a pen and paper. If you're watching the recording, you can stop it and go and get organised. If you're in Australia, get a blanket because it's a bit cold today. And also, you probably can see this sign behind me, Mentally Strong Mums. I'm actually borrowing a colleague's office today. So they do a lot of work with mums, which is interesting because we're working with the nurturing sign of Cancer. So it ties in today. All right. So I'm going to start asking questions. So you can get your pen and paper. You can do this on a device, or you can just think about it if you don't like writing things down. So some people don't like committing their feelings to paper, and that's okay too. So the first one is, how do you keep other people at bay emotionally? So remember, we're tuning the sign of Cancer. And if we think about the Cancer sign keeping people at bay, keeping everyone outside their beautiful shell. So you can write long paragraphs, you can write dot points. How is it that you don't like to connect or you keep other people away? Is it from being too busy? I don't have enough time. Is it in the household staying busy and always doing jobs? Is it going out and not being available? Not returning calls or messages, or avoiding those kind of things? Okay, so the next question that we're looking at with our Cancer sign is, what feelings are you trying to avoid when you're keeping those people at bay? So is it the fear of betrayal? Is it not wanting to get hurt, not trusting people? And you know, you can come back and watch this later too if you're not sure now. Once this goes up on YouTube, you can go back and watch these questions again if you've had a bit of time to think about it. So we're just writing the answers to these questions about the Cancer sign. So you can turn your camera off if you want to, if that's more comfortable for you, or you can leave it on. Now, is there a situation where you need to let go a feeling of betrayal? So I'm asking all these questions, and then in the second part, then we'll do the clearing. So if there's a time where you've been betrayed and now you're using your shell, like the crab, to keep people at bay, and you'd like to do some healing around that situation, this is the one to write about. So with this healing of the astrology sign of Cancer, we're looking at healing ways in which you might be overly sensitive, or you're being emotionally distant, even ways in which you communicate that might not be optimal. So we will be clearing those, and that way you're actually feeling like you can communicate your feelings, you can feel like you can connect to people instead of having that exterior of don't come near me. So this will help you not only in your personal relationships, but also in work situations as well, where you need to connect to people. So we're just going to have a look now. Are there situations in which you feel like you are highly sensitive and you react in a very emotional way? So it could be with a parent, and there's behaviors that you don't like that they have, and you're highly sensitive to the way they speak or the ways in which you might have to be overly responsible for them, especially if they're an aging parent or they're a parent who is from a different culture or doesn't speak the language or maybe doesn't drive, and you need to run them around everywhere or take them to appointments. Those sort of things where you're feeling a frustration. It could be that you're sensitive to the way that they communicate with you, and it takes you back to the same feelings as being a child. And just remember, this can be dot points. It can be a whole paragraph. This is completely private to you, so you can write whatever you want to express here. So moving into the next question. So when you're feeling this highly sensitive emotions, does it feel like your self-esteem has been knocked about? So is it feeling a bit low, and that's why you then have these reactions? So how quickly do you retreat when you're feeling like your self-esteem has been knocked about a bit and someone said something and you've reacted to it? So do you immediately retreat? Do you retreat inside but still kind of try and make it okay on the outside just to keep relationships smooth on the surface? So these kind of things can actually then cause resentment or feeling like you can't communicate, you're not being heard. So just exploring that. Okay, so now the Cancer sign is actually a very loyal sign also. So once you're past that hard shell, once you're in that nice, soft, emotional feelings from them, they're very loyal. They'll stick by you. So that's a great space to be in. But sometimes they stay too long in situations. So do you stay too long? So when you're possibly not expressing yourself and trying to smooth things over, are you staying in those relationships where you have to do that quite a bit and it's not serving you? It's not healthy for you. It could be a job. It could be a relationship. It could be a friendship, any kind of group where it's not really in alignment with you, but you stay because there might be old friendships, old connections. It's good for business in some sense, but it's really not aligning. So it's then feeling like you can actually break away from those and start moving into areas that and groups and people that serve you better. So you can imagine the crab just moving sideways and into another direction. Okay, so just taking a little bit of time with that one. So knowing when to leave a situation or say goodbye to some sort of friendship, connection can take a bit of time. So it can take a bit of grieving. You need to be really quite strong to do that too. So just have a think about how you could actually move sideways like the crab from that. Now we're going to go into our next question, which is, have you been on the receiving end of someone's sharp tongue? So those snappy claws like the crab. And are you now willing to let that go? The feelings that you held on to around that. So it might be indignation, anger, sadness, confusion. You don't understand why it happened. Sometimes people are reacting out of their own pain, and then they'll inflict something on you saying, you were disrespectful, you didn't listen to me. Why would you say that when from your side you might feel like you didn't do anything wrong? You were communicating something and they misunderstood what you were saying, or maybe it was via text message, and a lot of things can get lost in that translation. So different ways in which you may have felt attacked or that it just wasn't fair. And we hold on to those emotions because we felt we were right. But when you hold on to the emotions, it's still holding an energetic connection between you and that other person. So if you can change the energy of that, you are going to change the energy that you put out to the universe and what comes back. So the more you can let go of these things, the less you're going to experience them repeatedly. And that's forgiving yourself also. And that could be because you didn't understand what was going on. Maybe you communicated in a way that they didn't understand. It's understanding that there's two people in every situation, and allowing yourself to let those emotions go so you don't have that same connection with that person anymore, which is very good when it's ex-partners and things like that. If you can let those go, you're actually creating space in yourself so you can have the space for love rather than resentment or anger or guilt or pain. So we're now going to explore ways in which that you might have been the person who inflicted some words on somebody else. So most people have had this situation at some stage where out of pure frustration or anger, you may have said something that later on you reflected and thought that probably wasn't the greatest thing to say. That wouldn't have been what I would have said if I was feeling balanced. So we always need to look at ourselves. If there's behaviors that we don't like in other people, reflecting on ourselves, is that in me somewhere? Have I ever done that? And forgiving ourselves. If we can forgive ourselves, we can start to forgive other people as well. Now, it's important to remember that forgiveness isn't about feeling like someone got away with something. Forgiveness is about understanding that we all come from a place of pain sometimes, and not everybody is at the same level of consciousness. So other people may not even know that that's a behavior that they've got. They really just don't have that kind of self-awareness. Okay. Now we're going to take a couple of minutes to actually write down what you would like to bring in. So we've written down all these things we want to let go of. In what ways would you like to be more nurturing? How would you like to connect more with people? What are the feelings you would like to feel when you feel like you're connected? When you feel like you don't have to protect yourself or have a hard shell? Can you envisage how you would be, how your relationships would be? You might want to attract a particular type of relationship. So it might be you want to create a new friendship group, or you want to attract a partner, or you want new business ventures, business connections. You might want to start a new career or move into a different part of a company. So ways in which you would like to create new connections. And most importantly, how you want to connect with yourself. How do you want to show up for yourself? Ways in which you support what it is that you need. Letting go, needing to control other people or situations. Ways in which you might stop using all that energy outward and really saving it for you. Because if you are trying to control situations or make sure certain things happen with certain people, even though for you it might feel like you're trying to be helpful, for them it might feel like you're just trying to take over their lives and control it. And that way, you're not actually giving other people the opportunity to be responsible for what they're doing. Now, if you find that you're on the receiving end of that and there are people telling you what to do and you don't feel like they're allowing you the space, then write that down too. And then we'll start our clearing. So just taking a drink of water, making sure that you're in a comfortable space. And just relax into the chair or the table or the bed or the lounge, wherever you are. Just taking some gentle breaths. Every time you inhale, relax your body. Every time you exhale, relax the body even more. Now, if you're holding some crystals, just tune into the energy of those. And just breathe in deep down into the heart space, relaxing the breath out. Breathing deep into the heart again, relaxing the breath out. One more breath into the heart space, feeling it expand up and open and out. Relaxing the breath. Taking the next breath down deep into the belly. Relax the breath out. Again, taking that breath down into that sacral chakra, the belly. Relaxing the breath out. Breathe down into the feet. Any discomfort, just focus on that area. Just move around a bit, relaxing the breath out. So just be aware of where any discomfort is now. They're the areas that we're releasing emotions from. Okay. Take your awareness to any discomfort in the body, any stiffness. Breathing in with the awareness that we are now letting go. Any emotions sitting in that area that are manifesting as resistance. Resistance to connecting with other people. Ways in which this pain keeps you from connecting with yourself. Breathing in and letting that go. Feel it dissipate. Breathing into that same area. Acknowledging how you have kept yourself emotionally distant from anybody at any time in your life. And you're willing to let that behavior relax. You are safe. And there is no need to keep that pain in the body any longer. And just breathing deep into the belly. And as you relax the breath out, letting go of that emotion. Now, as we take our next breath, we are bringing our awareness to times when we emotionally retreat in communications. We're acknowledging how that internal dialogue creates an identity. So feeling unheard, feeling like you can't speak your truth, feeling like it's a waste of time, feeling dismissed, feeling isolated. Just allowing those feelings to release from the body. You may feel different sensations through the body. You might see different colors. You may see memories coming up. Just breathe, knowing that we are releasing the attachment to these emotions that are sitting in the body, creating pain. Just breathing in and relax the breath out. We're taking our awareness to any time you may have felt unnurtured by a parent, acknowledging that the parent may have been doing the best that they could at the time, that they may have been struggling, that they may not have had the awareness to do any better in that space, in that time. For that parent to have been any different, as adults, we understand things are not always simple. We acknowledge that they may have been stressed. We allow these emotions to release from the body. Take your awareness to any stiffness, any discomfort in the body, whether it's in the lower back, the hips, the knees, or the shoulders. Acknowledging we're all doing our best in every moment. And the more aware we become, the better we do. And just releasing those emotions from the body. Just take a deep breath. Just taking your awareness to any time where another authority figure, whether it's a teacher or a boss, didn't nurture you in the way that you needed. Acknowledging the feelings. It could have been feeling dismissed, unimportant, unheard. And just allow those emotions to dissipate out of the body with the acknowledgement that that person may not have had the capacity to help you. They may have felt inadequate. They may not have known what to do in that situation. So just allowing that to ease out of the body. Allow that energetic connection between you and the other person to dissipate, releasing any disappointment, any pain, any confusion, frustration. Letting that connection to that person melt away so you have more energy for you. Breathing deep into the body and relaxing the breath out. Breathing in again, deep down to the feet. And relaxing the breath out. We're now going to take our awareness to any time where you may not have nurtured someone how they wanted to be, whether you were conscious of it or not, because that connection, that energetic connection is still there between you and them if they are holding on to any emotions. So you may not be aware of any time, but breathing in self-forgiveness. And relaxing out self-forgiveness. You may like to say out loud, I forgive myself for doing the best that I could at the time. If you're feeling this a lot in an area, in the heart space or the plexus or in the throat, just taking your hands to those areas, breathing in. I forgive myself for doing the best that I could at the time. I forgive myself for doing the best that I could at the time. Deep breaths. I forgive myself for doing the best that I could. Time. The more we can forgive ourselves, the less we expect of others to fulfill those emotional needs, those empty spaces that we're feeling inside ourselves. So we're bringing in that loving, nurturing energy of the Cancer astrology sign into our body and our field. We're bringing that nurturing into those spaces, into the body, into the field. And feel the energetic, warm embrace of love. Feel it in the body. If you're still feeling any discomfort in the body, bringing it into those areas. Just asking for that universal, nurturing energy of love to flow into any spaces of the body that are still holding any emotion, and allowing that to dissipate like warm water over a sugar cube. Bringing in the awareness that you can nurture yourself, that you can take care of yourself emotionally. Breathing in deep into the body. Relaxing the breath out. Just feeling that nurturing, self-supportive energy through the body. Feel it expanding past the body into the field. You might like to send this beautiful, warm energy to those that are in your heart, people that you deeply care about. Even if it's someone who's passed, you can still send that energy to them and feel that connection. And just feel that connection growing stronger. You may like to visualize yourself hugging somebody, having a good communication, and really connecting. And just hold that strong energy in your body, in your field, and in your mind. With every breath, feel it become more solid, a deeper connection. Feeling that nurturing energy of the Cancer sign. Taking a deep breath. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Remember to drink water. Soak your feet or have a bath in some magnesium flakes. And just keep that energy of the nurturing universal love and Cancer energy just sitting in your field and body. If you'd like to continue journaling, you might find that more clearing comes. Thank you all for joining the July Workshop Wednesday. And I'll see you again soon.